So the Cowboys over-under win total to start the year was 7.5. I said bet the under. Detroit's was 10.5. 10.5. I said bet the under. And here we are, week 14, and they're pretty much the same, but I think I'd rather be Dallas. I do. I like where they're trending. And everybody's telling me it's injuries, or it's the Frank Ragnow retirement, or it's Jared Goff. You want to know why Detroit's not as good? They lost Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator. Now he's the coach of the Bears, and the Bears are looking down at the Lions. That's it. It's almost impossible. It's not hard. It's really impossible to replace brilliance. I remember Nike, 2004, Phil Knight steps down as CEO. Nike, one of one, a powerhouse, immediately starts losing market share to Adidas. Here comes Phil. He comes back. We all know the story of Steve Jobs. Left Apple. Apple was a powerhouse. They begged to have him back 10 years later. I mean, it's hard to replace excellent people. I think Ben Johnson's different. I mean, what a shock. Suddenly the Bears are as good as any team in the league running the football. They weren't last year, and suddenly now the Lions are horrible on third down. How with that offensive line? How with Jahmyr Gibbs? With a veteran quarterback? How? They're good at tight end, wide receiver. How? Because they lost Ben Johnson. That's it. I remember when Washington, you remember this, had Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Matt LaFleur in the building with Washington. They were making the playoffs. Those guys left. I mean, it wasn't until last year, for 1 year, that the regression stopped. Now they're bad again. You just can't replace McVay and Shanahan on a staff, arguably the two best coaches in the league after Andy Reid. And I'll die on this hill. The greater the talent you lose, the wider the search has to be. You lose Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, you can't go in-house. You lose Ben Johnson, you can't go in-house. The bigger the shoes I have to fill, the more feet I need to see. And when I watch the Lions, it's not Frank Ragnow. It's not Amon-Ra St. Brown is banged up. It's not Jared Goff doesn't have mobility. Didn't have it the previous 3 years. They're just not quite as clever and not quite as unique. Even among really good people. Jerry Jones said, Dak is irreplaceable. Mike is great, but replaceable. And Mike is really good. He leaves. Dallas is now second in the NFL in pressures. It's like, we're actually better without Micah because we got some draft picks and made some deals. So, but I mean, Miami still looking to find the next Marino. How many quarterbacks they had? 40? I mean, literally Denver to replace Elway had to go get an old Peyton Manning. So it's just, it's the Lions lost an all-time offensive coordinator, an all-time guy. And I love Dallas tonight. Nothing quite feels the same when I watch them. The players are great. It's not injuries. They've been injury-plagued previous years. It's not the GM. He's great. They just lost an all-timer who's now with the Bears. So I saw a story this morning, and it said the Broncos are the second NFL team in history to win 4 straight games by 3 points or less. People are basically saying what Denver is doing is not sustainable. You can't keep winning in the fourth quarter like Denver's doing. And I would say, no, that's absolutely sustainable. What's not sustainable is when the Patriots went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl, and those Randy Moss years when you're scoring 50 and winning by 3 touchdowns. They didn't win a Super Bowl that year. Every other Super Bowl Belichick and Brady were in New England, all but one were one-possession games. For the record, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever in one-possession games. 68% of games. 68% in one-score games. By the way, highest winning percentage when trailing in the fourth quarter the last 2 seasons. Andy Reid and Sean Payton. So don't tell me it's Mahomes because none of you like Bo Nix. It's the coach. Football has always been a game of inches. I go back to the New England dynasty. Winning close is totally sustainable. The New England dynasty, the 2 things that always jump out beyond Belichick and Brady are they never fumbled. Honest to God, I was in New England at the time. They never fumbled, And they were always way above average on special teams. They didn't lead the league in sacks very often. They didn't lead the league in touchdowns very often. When I look at Denver, it's absolutely coaching and details. For instance, fewest sacks allowed. That's coaching. How do I know that's coaching? Because Caleb Williams last year was the most sacked quarterback. This year, he's one of the least sacked. They changed coaches, right? So, like, it is coaching and demanding, not pandering. Bo Nix, not a big, strong guy breaking tackles from defensive ends. He doesn't get sacked. His dad was a coach. He takes to coaching. Sean Payton. They're also great on third down defense. Why? That's situational coaching. Red zone defense, situational coaching. And so when I look at New England's dynasty, it was all about details. I don't know how many times they led the NFL in total offense. I would wager it wasn't as many as you think. I don't know how many times they led the league in touchdowns, probably the Randy Moss years. They didn't win Super Bowls. So I've always thought, like Andy Reid, Sean Payton. In fact, I looked this morning at the top 5, last 2 years, the top 5 winning percentages, winningest coaches in one-score games. It's all offensive coaches. No Mike Tomlin up there. It's all offensive coaches. So to me, this idea that what Denver's doing is not sustainable. I love NBA teams and baseball teams and pro football teams that win close. I think it builds character. It builds unity. Winning by blowouts, that's not sustainable. If you're doing that in the NFL, you're probably doing it because you have a really good rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, and then when you have to eventually pay him and have to get rid of stars, you're not winning by that. That's not sustainable. You don't see NFL teams going 4 years blowing people out. You rarely get a year like that. But winning close, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Tom Brady, totally sustainable to me. Being good on third down offensively, not getting sacked a lot. That's coaching. That's sustainable. Yeah, I mean, I think highly organized people don't need wide margins, right? Highly organized people don't need wide margins. I can read about a pro athlete that can't retire on $100 million. And I'm like, well, I know school teachers that have retired on one and live very comfortable, great lives. If you need $100 million to retire comfortably, you're not great on the details. You're not very efficient. There's a quality of life at $1 or $2 million in retirement.